welcome to Atlanta, Georgia, site of the 1996 Olympic Games, Center Parc Stadium, and home to the Georgia State Panthers, and we have been feeling the excitement for this one all week. We've got a terrific matchup for you today, rich in pageantry and tradition, and it ought to be a fantastic clash. As we'll see a squad from the back, the Umass Minutemen, taking on a team from the Sun Belt, the Georgia State Panthers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. As we'll kick off and we'll be underway. From inside the 10-yard line, he'll bring it back. He only needs a sliver of daylight. Just barely able to stop him. He almost housed that, baby. The nice return there. That last line of coverage is the only thing that stopped him from scoring. The Panthers offense takes the field to start this game off. And Jesse, in this age of transfers, quarterbacks are the hottest commodities. We've seen this guy, but now different uniform, different surroundings. It's his job to get everybody going in the same direction.
Well, he just has to take command of this offense early. And listen, we've seen in recent years transfer quarterbacks have success right away. Think about Will Howard winning a national championship at Ohio State, Dylan Gabriel over at Oregon, Cam Ward at Miami. This guy has a really good grasp of the offense, picked it up in the offseason, and I know they're really excited to see what he can do on the field today.
And he's true. And the defense picks up a sack, getting the quarterback down at the 44.
This offense comes out clearly wanting to throw the football. Nothing good on first down with incompletion. And how about this? You've got to protect your quarterback. That is priority number one, and they give up a sack on play two.
Fires one high and deep. And trying to put points on the board on third down. Now they're staring at fourth down. Georgia State will send out the punt unit. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. And the punt team able to sling him to the ground. So the UMass Minutemen have the ball for the first time and their offense will go to work. And here comes for the first time as a starter this talented freshman. And Jesse, it seems like quarterbacks mature quicker and quicker these days, and they're ready to grab the reins.
Yeah, you're seeing it more and more. There's more high school quarterbacks now ready to take the next step and compete and perform in college football. But listen, I started as a true freshman back at Florida. I guarantee you he has so much nervous energy going right now because he has never played in an environment like this, and he has never played against competition like this either, David.
No, it's crazy, and that was 1920. So imagine now with all the technology and how much he's feeling the nerves. Obviously, all the eyeballs in the stadium is on him. Everybody knows what he's capable of, but he's going to be the first guy to touch the football. It's going to revolve around him, and that's a lot to ask of a freshman.
The Minutemen picked up a chunk on the ground. Let's see what they do here. Quarterback on the keeper. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Let's talk for just a second about UMass. At some point, with all of the transfer portal talk and guys going in and out, you can score one for continuity with this ball club, can't you, David?
That means your system and your culture is working. Because these guys so often are just going for the next opportunity, the next bag of money. Nice job. They kept their guys that they recruited, that they love.
Yeah, it sounds so cliche, but these players really have bought in to this coaching staff and the message and what they're preaching. They all believe they could do something very special this season.
They'll try to pick it up on the ground. Knocked down in the backfield, and that'll bring up fourth down. Umass will line up to punt it away. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. Special teams coming through as they pin them back. They'll mark it dead at the 10. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. 90 yards in front of them as they start the drive at their own 10. Wants to throw on first down. Quickly to the tight end. And the big fella couldn't elude the cornerback who makes a sure tackle. Really good concept there to get things going and use the tight end early.
Yeah, I mean, just such a great job on first down, setting up an easier second down. Understanding I don't always have to push the ball down the field, but see the tight end, make the throw. No, it's not a big gain, but makes life really easy on me on second down.
The Panthers come to the line on third and short, trying to convert here. Just a short pass to the tight end. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down. And here comes the punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Now a fair catch is called for and made just shy of midfield. The UMass offense returns to the field. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
Wants to go up top on first down. He's got it. He'll work his way down to the 28.
Yeah, and tight ends aren't just line up and block guys anymore. These guys are athletes. You line them up all over the field. And nowadays, you can start to feature them more and more in the passing game.
The give on the inside. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
Great team defense on that run play. Everybody doing their job. People winning their one-on-ones, D linemen staying in their gaps, linebackers and DBs filling. You just can't do it better.
Pulls it, fires to the left. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
That will be enough to move the chains and give them a first down in the red zone at the 14. This UMass offense is moving quickly down the field. Right back to the well. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 at the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. On the ground, it's Hood. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
You want to end a play quickly, get in the backfield that fast, get to the guy, and get him on the ground. Nice job penetrating right from the snap, getting off the ball so quick, penetrating the backfield and making something happen.
On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up. Here comes the field goal unit. It is true as he puts 3 on the board. And that'll put the first points of the game on the board. It's 3-0.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
And the return man showing great vision to be able to find some space and put his team in much better field position. They'll christen this drive from the 28-yard line. It's complete to the left. Just keep moving this thing forward. He's out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 37-yard line.
You know, tight ends are such matchup nightmares and problems for defense. They're too big for DBs to cover, and they're too fast for linebackers to cover. You saw it right there.
Quickly out to the tight end. Wrestled down at the 43 after getting 5. No reason to panic when you see those extra bodies coming. Just find the big tight end.
Well, and the great ones do that. I think the great ones are okay. You want to blitz? I know my answers. I'm all right. I'll stay patient. Find the matchup. This time it was the tight end. Finds the tight end, throws a strike, gets the first down.
Nice pickup there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. And the Panthers come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll give it to the back. Pass to Sticks and still on his feet. Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a first down.
It was so important this offense was able to find a way to get in the rhythm, and the running game is now helping that. 2 straight punts on their previous 2 drives. This drive, though, they're having a little bit more success. Big reason why is this running back. He's been able to find some creases to run through, and it's really helping out this offense.
He'll keep it himself. He's going to lose a yard on that one.
All right, if you're a quarterback in that situation, you know there's nowhere to go, so just
cut your losses.
You're right, absolutely. Slide, don't take the extra punishment. You just give up on the play.
Fires to the big fella. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. He's got the tight end. The change will move, and they'll have 1st and 10 from inside the red zone at the 18. They'll need to show urgency to get another play off before the clock hits 0. This time they'll go to the running game. And he's able to pick up a few yards as we reach the end of the 1st quarter. That's the end of the period, and it's Umass out front. Guys, let's have a look at the stats as we've played 1 period. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the 2nd. Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the 1st down without getting it into the end zone. Red pass, it's complete. And the catch and run into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia State. The AT unit on the field.
And I love the decision by the quarterback, finding his playmaker, getting him the football quickly so that he can make something happen after the play and get 6.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. The Minutemen going back to work on offense. They'll start this drive with a chance to regain the lead, down 7-3. Looking downfield on 1st down. Fires to the tight end. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
Nice route there by the tight end, making it real easy for his quarterback to find an easy completion.
They'll line up for a 2nd down play. The give to the back. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
They're trying to run the football, and there's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
The Minutemen a bit behind the sticks here on 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. And the defense jumps on it. They get that turnover.
And the offense goes 5 wides and spreads the field. The problem is that spreads you thin, and you only got 5 guys in protection, and they don't do a good enough job up front. The defense gets home, forces the fumble. Big play for this defense.
Out of the gun, the inside handoff to the running back. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 of the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a 1st without scoring. They go to the ground. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
That's a fantastic play by the linebacker. He has such tremendous instincts. As soon as he sees run, he's coming downhill. He's got great speed. He gets you on the ground. That's why he's one of the best linebackers in the entire country.
Hauls it in. and they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first.
And that's exactly your job when you're a defense. You know, they're going to make throws, they're going to make catches. I got to get them on the ground. I got to limit the yak, the yards after the catch. Nice job breaking on the football, getting the wide receiver on the ground.
And the kicker delivers the 3 to salvage that drive. Now up by 7 points here in the second.
Winning the turnover battle is so important, and you got to make these turnovers convert into points. They get the fumble recovery. Yeah, they didn't get a touchdown, but they're still able to get a field goal and put 3 points up.
The Umass offense returns to the field. So far, they've only been able to muster a field goal, but hoping to get things cooking here. Handoff from the shotgun. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
This offense has really struggled, and I think you're just waiting for one play, one explosive play to happen to hopefully galvanize you a bit offensively. That's not the case, and there, they try to run the football in the first play of the drive, and it gets absolutely blown up for a loss.
Hey, we're getting close to halftime, and it looks as if the big fella wants to be all over the highlights.
Goodness gracious, he is open.
He's going to throw deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. They certainly weren't afraid to take a shot there, and now it's 4th down. Umass will line up to punt it away. And the returner is stopped. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Guys, the Georgia State offense returns to the field. Always good to get points on a drive, David, but chip shot field goals can leave you a little empty.
And I think it's great to get points, but the great teams get touchdowns in the red area. You got to get out there this time and execute a little better on this drive.
You're absolutely right, David. Generally, the best red zone offenses are the ones that run the ball the best. So let's see if they can be a little bit more physical on this drive.
Moving into scoring territory at the 36 on 1st down. Motion from the back. Might be calling a hot route. Looking to throw on 1st down. Finds his man. It's Galloway. There he goes. He's brought down the one. A play for this offense, and they'll have it at the 12-yard line. They've done a really good job identifying mismatches, and they find one out of the backfield there.
Reese, I really don't think it's that hard. My guy is better than yours. Find the matchup across the field. Running back's got some speed. Get it in his hands quickly. Throw it to him fast. Let him make somebody miss against a slower guy that's usually a linebacker.
Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Wants to go up top. He caught it. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
And this offense is firing on all cylinders right now. Starting the year, game 1, creating a little bit of a pad and separation at the end of this first half. But you can see why so many people are really excited about this offense this season.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Right, guys, got a final score on one of the more intriguing games this week. Kentucky was able to come away with the win, as they have in Lexington so many times before, but not without a few bumps along the way. Man, nothing in college football is easy. All that speculation all week, and now we know. But something tells me, fellas, we haven't heard the last of either of these teams.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. Now on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Snagged in the middle. It's Kelly. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a 1st down.
It's way too early in the game to say this is a must score. But, man, you've dug yourself an early hole, and this offense needs to capitalize. You're not getting the football after the half, so create some momentum now while you can.
And this set of downs gets started from the 33, 1st and 10. To the air on first down. Caught over the middle. It's Campbell. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. Quick tempo, no huddle offense. Second down, clock's running. Back to pass. Throws to the wideout. And the shot to the middle of the field falls to the turf.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Here comes the heat. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. Umass will line up to punt it away. Well, what that punt lacked in height, it made up for by being short. And the returner goes down. Georgia State takes over, ready to send out the offense. They'll start this drive and snap it from the 40. Last drive went for 6. We'll see if they can do it again. Going right to work up top. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance.
You know, the defense just hasn't seemed to quite have an answer. They've come close to interceptions like that one there, but they haven't registered any so far. They've given up a few touchdown passes. They're just not quite able to make the plays they need to against the pass in this game.
Quarterback adjusting the pattern. Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. Intercepted. Oh, what a play. Takes it the other way. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
And they'll take over.
And that's just excellent coverage. Man, cover one, nowhere to throw the football. Look at everybody playing man across the board, and you still got the safety in the middle of the field. Nobody open, and if I'm the...
And the quarterback will be slung down back at the 43. Here's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. Umass just trying to get some of that yardage back here on second down. Wants to go up top. And he dropped it. Just didn't look the thing all the way in.
Ooh, there's an example, Jesse, of a receiver making his quarterback look bad. Most of the time, they make it look good and cover up for him. All those balls y'all don't throw online, but oof, that would hit him in a pretty good spot. He needs to come down with that one.
He's going to lose a yard on that one. Umass will line up to punt it away. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. First play of this drive comes from the 14-yard line. They'll start this drive going to the air. And that one had some juice on it, but it's incomplete. He's already thrown one pick, and look, he might get it together, but it seems like he's a little fouled up in his mechanics. A lot of things coming off his back foot.
And you want to get those feet set in the ground. Once you start to drift, the ball, when you throw it, is going to drift. So he's just got to iron in, get those feet set, stay square every time he throws the football so he can be a little bit more accurate, stop making some of these bonehead plays.
Another incompletion on third down. Georgia State will send out the punt unit. He'll call for the fair catch here. The Minutemen going back to work on offense. Getting late here in the first half, they'll have a chance to make this a one-possession game.
And the offensive play caller here has to really be dialed in. It's important down 2 possessions, David, that they're able to score some points. So you got to call your best.
Turning it on. He'll go out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 31 and a big pickup on that one. They're down to the 32-yard line on 1st and 10.
For the offense.
Use the play fake. Now to throw. Looking to the big tight end. And it's incomplete, deflected, knocked away by the D.
You know, it's so important for corners to be able to transition, right? You got to have real loose hips. You got to be able to change direction on a dime. And in zone coverage, when you see the ball thrown, you can break on it and force incompletions like that.
Man, these plays are really, really simple. Really easy to run. I like it. Just drop back as a quarterback, see the big fella, wait for him to get open, hit him, get a nice positive gain.
The Minutemen come to the line on 3rd and short. From the gun, wants to pass. Got it in the middle, it's Kelly. They've got enough for the first down, and they're in the red zone at the 20. Clock stops momentarily for the first down. They'll hurry to the line. Looking to throw on first down. Looking down the middle. He makes a grab. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Just a few seconds remaining here as they try to put something up before halftime. They'll go to the air. Touchdown, Umass! Fired in from the red zone for the score.
Well, that was a huge touchdown for the offense there, just to try to get some mojo going here at halftime. It'd have been tough sledding here in the first half. Only a field goal before they finally got into the end zone. So obviously still a lot of work to do. You're still trailing on the scoreboard. That's going to do a lot for their confidence, I think, before heading into the second half.
And there will be no return on this one as the ball bounds into the end zone. Just enough time for one final play in this half. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Trying to make magic on the scramble. They stop him just short of the first down, but it will be 2nd and inches coming up. Ready to start things here in the second half. Georgia State about to kick it away. From inside the 10, here he comes. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. They keep it on the ground to open the 3rd. Barrels all the way to the 29, a gain of 6.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
They'll leave it with him. They went right back to him, and this time the defense was all over him. Nothing to show for that run. 4 punts already, and they've got to convert here to avoid a 5th. They're going to try to throw for it on 3rd down. Grab near the marker is Kelly. Looks as if he has enough to move the chains. It'll be a first down, Umass. New set of downs after the completion. Breaks into the open. Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense.
And I love the idea of getting this guy screen throws because of his ability after the catch. So nice job getting downfield, getting a hat-on-hat, and giving him a tunnel to run through.
They'll send the tight end in motion. Power football with the run. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
And that run really didn't go anywhere, and a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Grabbed over the middle, it's Kelly. Makes that one pay off, and they finally get him down at the 38. It'll be first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Wants to throw on first down. Catch in the middle, it's Proctor. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be 2nd and just a few breaths away from the first down. Offense about to reel off its 7th play of the drive. They'll keep it on the ground. Brought down after a good pickup, and they're in the red zone at the 20.
This defense really is on their heels. They've been on the field now for a long time on this drive, and They're just getting pushed around at the point of attack up front like we saw in that last play.
Trying to cap this drive with the pass. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
And a really great job by the defense adjusting now, because on this drive, this quarterback has found his guy a few times, and now the defense is saying, we are double covering him. You might throw it somewhere else, but that guy is not going to make the catch.
Pass rush, gets there, gets home, gets him down at the 23.
That's a good example there of complementary defense. The DBs and linebackers are playing zone, they're playing their spaces, and they force the QB to have to hold the ball, try to work through his progressions, and then the pass rush, they win up front.
3rd and long, and he'll try to throw for it. Oh, better look out! The defense is there, and a great job to keep him from getting to that first down marker. He's hard to get a handle on. It'll be 4th and short. Umass mounting a threat from the red zone. On 4th down, they'll try to throw it. Dances away to buy time. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Minutemen! The extra point here would tie the game. A methodical drive, soul-crushing, spirit-breaking, and it ends in a touchdown.
And listen, I know everybody wants the big plays, the big, long touchdowns and all that stuff, but putting a drive together like that is very difficult to do time and time again, and it's demoralizing for the defense. Great drive by the offense.
Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Motion from the wideout. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Incomplete. He had to get rid of it before he wanted to. The defense put the heat on.
And there's an example of what happens when the quarterback doesn't have a chance to set his feet. The pressure just forced him to have to work off schedule a little bit. And I think because of that, he wasn't able to be as accurate as he wanted to be.
And sticking to the run. I tell you what, a lot of teams that are really good are really stubborn, and they continue to run the football even with little success. So this offense is going to continue to focus on running the football. You can tell.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. He gets the job done, picking up the 1st down, then getting down.
On the 3rd play of the drive, 3rd down, it's the scrambling ability of this quarterback that goes and picks up the 1st down. He was so calm back there. He never got flustered. Nobody open, no problem. If you give this guy 1 yard to run, he's going to tuck it and take off, and that's exactly what happened there.
And just wedges it ahead a bit before he's brought down.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Fired that thing out in a heartbeat, but it's incomplete.
And there's so much for a quarterback to think about. Stick it out in the belly. Do I pull it? Now when I pull it, I got to get my feet set, make an accurate throw to the right guy. So a lot of things going on, and I think that you saw that led to a little bit of inaccuracy.
You got to be careful if you're the quarterback there. 3rd down, you see a lot of exotic coverages by the defense. That time they played zone, and he tried to force that football into a real tiny window. He's lucky that one wasn't picked off.
Big tight end makes the grab. It's a 1st down. And he's brought down after a nice gain.
That tells you a lot about their confidence in this quarterback. 4th down early in the game on your own end, and you go for it. But when you make decisions and throws like that, it's easy to see why.
He'll do it himself. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
Well, one of the reasons this offense likes the option game with the quarterback is to use his speed and try to attack the perimeter of the field. The defense, though, not having any of it. You saw the contain on the play, forcing him back in the middle of the field, and they're able to corral him for a huge one.
Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
Oh, it's a missed opportunity. The quarterback was excited. He saw man coverage. He thought he was going to have an opportunity to come up with a big play, but up front, they could not protect him well enough.
On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Intercepted, big play, stops the drive. Didn't really get a chance to get started on that return, but he has set him up at the 41-yard line. First play of the drive comes from the 41. Off the play fake on 1st down. Unloads it left. Makes the grab. And there was lots of space as he gets it to the 39-yard line.
And I love that play call. There's a great example of sudden change situation, right? Your defense gets the turnover. You get it right back. The very first play, let's be aggressive. Let's take a shot and see if we can catch the defense napping. Boy, oh boy, did that ever work out great.
Got him downfield. There to make the tackle, but the big throw is good enough to give them a 1st down.
He's brought down at the 20.
Umass mounting a threat from the red zone. Caught in the backfield, it's Kelly. He goes out of bounds right at the 15-yard line. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. The run from the shotgun. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And you hear about run blitzes. This is exactly what a run blitz is. When you know the ball's coming up the middle, you want to bring those linebackers, get them closer to the line of scrimmage, and fire. Right when the ball snapped, he's coming downhill.
Touchdown, Umass! And with that, they've got the lead here in the 2nd half.
Man, it's not an accident. They're featuring this guy. His 2nd receiving touchdown of the game. That's your job as a coach. Find my playmakers, get them the ball so they can do damage and have games like this right here.
And he knocks the extra point through the uprights. From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. And he's able to pick his way through the traffic nicely for a good return on that one before he's brought down. First play of this drive will start from the 31-yard line. He lobs one high down the left side. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on 1st down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
That's the end of the quarter, and it's Umass holding the lead. 3 quarters are in the books. Time becomes a factor both in trying to hold the lead or cut into it as we take a look at the stats. With the break, they had a little extra time to dial something up this 3rd down play. From the gun, wants to pass. And that 3rd down pass had some serious juice, but they couldn't hook up.
Now, a 4th down.
And here we go, down a score. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. Got it in the middle. It's Washington. And it's a 1st down. They'll mark it at the 44.
Wow, and that was just a bang-bang play. On that 4th down, the coverage was tight. QB had his receiver. He knew where he wanted to go with it, but the only way that ball gets completed is if he puts a little extra mustard on it, and he shows you the arm talent on the throw.
Looking downfield on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup.
I think that time offensively, you're just trying to take what the defense is giving you, right? They're playing zone coverage. You got your big fella just working right over the ball. It's an easy pitch and catch. Just take the profit, and let's keep going.
The Panthers with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. Handoff to the single back. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the 1st down.
Man, that was a good run, but it was almost even better. Great job by the offense. Keep the running game going. You get big chunks like this. Not only was that a big chunk, it also looked like it could have gone for more.
Brings him down at the 27-yard line. It's a pickup of 15 and a first down for this offense. Really good job working through his progression. You get it to him quickly, and the big tight end has a chance to run a little.
And a really good job by the QB throwing an accurate throw. I got to hit those guys on the move, on the run, so they can do this. They can catch the football, get upfield, and chew up some extra yards.
Well, the quarterback knew he wanted to go to his tight end on that play. He's a big physical target, but it was the hit on the play that forced the incompletion.
Finds his tight end. Really confident throw and catch there. Big pickup, and they have a first down.
And watch the offensive line here. They all block run. Because they're blocking run, the quarterback decides, oh, I got a favorable matchup. He dumps it out to the right, makes the right read, gets a nice positive gain.
And he'll step across the sidelines after making a good gain on that one. Going to work on second down, and the red zone is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. The give out of the gun. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be first and goal. And guys, if they can somehow, some way find their way into the end zone, and he takes it in for a score. Touchdown, Georgia State. Follow the blockers. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
On the run from inside his own 5. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. First snap of this drive will come from inside the 15 at their own 14-yard line. From the gun, running back gets to give. Oh, he's got some space. And that was a huge run that almost went to the house. The defense kept him from scoring. Umass hoping that big run will give them some momentum. He'll pull it on the read. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
Yeah, and it's a nice job by this defense understanding, listen, that QB is a threat. And they're going to run all kinds of options, and he's going to run the football. They were dialed in and got that sucker to the ground.
Catch in the middle. It's Kelly. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
Good enough for first down.
They'll go to the ground. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down.
Listen, you got to be able to know what play to call and what hole to go through. Like the line blocks for a certain hole. Good job getting through the hole, getting what was blocked, getting a nice positive gain, making your situation really good on the next down.
Quarterback on the keeper. Got it into the red zone, dragged down at the 18-yard line.
Well, the defense did a pretty good job that time on the option play of having someone dedicating themselves to the quarterback to get him down. Not enough to stop the offense from picking up the first down, though. The defense really needs to be keyed in on this because they're going to see this option play more and more as this game goes on.
And a nice job by the offense picking up the blitz, understanding that extra guy was coming, and creating just a little bit of a hole for that running back to slither through and get some positive yards.
They'll keep it on the ground. They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with a first down. And this offense is so close they can almost taste taking a fourth-quarter lead, but they don't want to leave too much time on the clock for an answer. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. And the D deny them on second and goal.
And wow, the defense was in there quick, fast, and in a hurry and shut that run game down. Like, they were ready for that second down now. A little more space for the offense, backed up, a little more room to operate and try to maybe find some windows to throw a football.
Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. From the 3-yard line, they'll try it again on third and goal. Trying to run it in. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple. The clock stops as we have reached the final 2 minutes of the game. So on 4th down, here comes the field goal kicker in a huge spot. Oh, he missed it. No good. And in the final quarter of regulation, we remain tied, guys.
And that's just the chip shot. That's just a field goal they got to make, guys.
They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Finds the tight end.
I love the decision-making by the quarterback here. You're trailing. It's a 2-minute situation. You're not just throwing to receivers, but you're trying to find matchups that your tight end could take advantage of. With his athleticism, he's a big weapon for you in this 2-minute situation.
And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short gain there. And the Panthers are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. To the ground to try to pick up the first. And he fights his way, but they'll stop him just short of the line to gain. It's 4th down. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Tie game, 4th quarter, and they're going to go for it on 4th down. They'll run the sneak for it. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
Man, when I was at Florida, Steve Spurrier would wait for this opportunity in a game 4th and inches, and he'd signal in Red Snoopy. Quarterback sneak. It works every time.
Quickly to the tight end. And an absolutely fearless tackle, giving up size, still got him on the turf. Motion from the wide receiver. 2nd down, he'll throw it. Going to try to pop one on the screen. Wrestled down at the 43 after getting 5. Offense rushing to the line of scrimmage. Clock is stopped for the 1st down. They'll try to get it off quickly. Wants to adjust the pattern. Looking to throw on 1st down. Fakes the grab on the left. Not out on the field, and we've got a dandy all tied up late in the 4th. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Caught near the sticks. It's Washington. They ripped off a big one, and they get it down to the 27. The defense calls the timeout. Their 2nd of the day as they try to get their act together. Georgia State ready to go with another 1st and 10. Just a short pass to the tight end. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down marker. They'll go to work in the air on 2nd down, using the quick game. Timeout called by the defense, 13 seconds to go. Well, that helped the completion percentage, but the idea was yards after the catch, and it didn't happen.
Great job on defense, too. See ball, get ball. They saw exactly when that ball was spit out. You saw the defense fly to the ball.
Timeout is called, and the clock is down to 8.
Timeout, Georgia State.
And now on 4th down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. He splits the uprights. That was a spontaneous combustion of a celebration on the sidelines, and wait to see what happens if they can hold on for a few more seconds. Looking for an alley from inside his own 10. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. They'd love to put a long drive together here as they start from their own 21. To the air on 1st down. Under fire. Blasted as he lets it go. Oh, what a play. It's intercepted. Trying to take it back. And he's going to take it all the way back. Touchdown, Panthers. A strong, methodical, workmanlike effort from this team. No frills, just get the job done and get the win.
I love when you describe my teams like that. Just consistent, methodical, strong. I don't have to do things special every single week. All I'm supposed to do is get the W, and that's what they did.
And this is why practice is so important, guys. You can tell that this team was locked in way back earlier in the week. They watched the film. They got good looks in practice. They knew what to anticipate. They knew